Your truck's hitch is arguably the most important part of your towing setup, and if your 2005 to 2015 Tacoma's hitch has been out in the elements, it might be time to think about replacing it. This OE style hitch from Red Rock is essentially an exact replica of your factory original, and it does everything you need just at a considerably lower price than the same part from Toyota. Just a quick note on fitment here before we dive in. This is designed to fit all 2005 to 2015 Tacomas that were equipped with a factory hitch. Now that means that if your truck did not have a hitch from the factory, you're going to have to prepare to do some other modifications or look into other options. However, if your truck did have the hitch from the factory, this is going to bolt right into its place, and we'll talk more about that as we get into the video. Especially if you live in a place where rust is a problem, crucial components under your truck may become weaker as they age and get corroded because they've seen more weather. And if you're like me and you don't tow all that often, it's easy to overlook the condition of your hitch. If yours is starting to look a little shabby, especially around the welds or where the receiver bolts into the frame here, it might be time to replace it. Now this one, again, is pretty much an exact replica of your factory hitch. It's a Class 3 with a 5,000 pound weight rating, so it's right in line with the factory unit that came equipped on your truck. You get a 2-inch receiver, again, just like stock, so any hitch ball mount or hitch accessory that worked on your stock one will work here as well. Same with the mounting points too. You've actually got 16 different places where this bolts to the frame of the truck, so it will be plenty stable, and you have provisions for your wiring harness right down here as well, plus hooks for your safety chains, and everything is going to bolt right in place of the original one. Made from heavy-duty square steel tubing and steel plate, this thing is about as solid as it gets. Now the one place where this one actually does differ from your factory receiver though is the coating. As you may have picked up on, this is a 2-stage textured black powder coat. The first layer is an E-coat, which is going to help remove impurities from the metal and protect it, and that is then followed up by the textured black powder coating you see here. Now that coating means that this should be a bit more durable than your factory hitch too, so it's going to look better for longer. The price though, that might just be the best part. Coming in at about $450, this is about half the price of the equivalent part from Toyota. And for something that does exactly the same job but with a little added durability and some cooler looks, that is quite the deal. You really lose out on nothing and your truck will be back in fighting shape for comparatively little money. Now I'm always a huge proponent of safety, especially when it comes to towing, and if you can spend a little bit of money and get a nice new receiver hitch like this, it's worth it to do in my opinion. Again, especially if your truck has been out in the elements and your old one's starting to look a little shabby. And you're basically going to get the same thing that's even a little bit better for a heck of a lot less money. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now, like we talked about already, this is going to bolt right in place of your original hitch using all the original mounting points. However, if your truck is a little crusty underneath, you might want to soak those bolts before trying to get the old one off. Be prepared, they're probably going to fight you a little bit, and it may not be a bad idea to pick up some new hardware while you're at it. Also worth noting that this is designed to work on trucks that had a hitch installed from the factory, so if your truck did not have one, you're going to need to look into other options or prepare to do some modifications. But if you already have a factory hitch on your truck, you're ready to replace it, this is going to be exactly what you need, and we're going to walk you through that install process right now. So for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you will need various impacts, a ratchet, 10, 17, and 19 millimeter sockets, and a 19 millimeter wrench. Also not shown here is a floor jack. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a new hitch on our Tacoma, so let's get started. Alright guys, so you can do this on the ground very easily. However, to give you a better view of what we got going on, we have ours up in the air. First thing we're going to need to do is remove our hitch plug from the bracket. Now we don't need to remove the whole bracket, just these two 10 millimeter bolts. So we'll take our 10 mil socket and pop these off. Slide that hitch plug assembly out. So now we're going to come to our rear frame horns, and you'll see you have 6 mounting bolts on each side. And we're going to remove all of them except for this front one. We're going to leave that loose for now. That's going to help support it. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we've got our 17 mil socket on our impact. We'll start pulling these out. Again, we're going to loosen this one, but not fully remove it. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're under the truck, and we've got a floor jack up under our hitch to help hold it in place. We're going to need to unplug our tag lights as well. So we've got the other side out. Reach up in here. I'm going to press in on that connector. or you can turn the socket out if it doesn't want to come loose. Now we're going to fully remove this bolt. Do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now we're going to lower our floor jack down slowly. And we're going to pick up and remove our bumper assembly. Now that we have this on the ground, we're going to remove these two 19mm bolts with our 19mm socket and our 19mm wrench. Now we can get our last two bolts out with our 17mm socket on our ratchet. Once we have those out, we can roll our hitch off of our bumper. Alrighty guys, so now we've got our new hitch ready to go on. We're gonna put this onto the truck before we put the bumper on it. Just makes things a little bit easier. We've got our floor jack back in play here. It's gonna help us hold it in position. We'll start getting our hardware back in place. Get this lined up. Gonna have to sneak behind. Now this is gonna be a tight fit. That's okay. And we'll get this lined up so it has to come up a hair. So we've got access to our one bolt, so we'll get that through first. Get this next one in. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we'll get our other three bolts back in this area in place. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to tighten all these bolts down again with our 17mm socket. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we'll set our bumper back in place. Might be a bit of a tight fit. And once you've got it set on, I'm going to line these two bolt holes up. May take a little bit of wiggling. Now we're going to get the two 19mm bolts back through the bumper into the hitch plate. Now you will notice maybe your bumper is not in perfect alignment at the moment. Once we put all of our hardware in, it'll pull it back into line. So we'll drop these through. Then we'll just loosely reinstall these nuts for now. Now we're going to bring it back up and button up the rest of the hardware. Alright guys, so our bumper needs to come down a little bit for our two side bolts to line up. So we're going to use the two front bolts to help us accomplish that. So we've got our 19mm socket and our 19mm wrench, and we'll tighten these down. Now we're going to install our two bumper mount bolts here. The first one in, followed by this one that is all the way in here. And after we get those started, grab our 17mm socket on our ratchet because it gets a little tight back here. Tighten these down. So now we're going to put our tag light sockets back in. So we've got this lined up. I know it's hard to see. Just want to give that a quarter turn clockwise and lock that back in. We'll do the same thing for our other tag light. So now we're going to send our hitch plug up into the provided hitch bracket, which is already mounted. So you want to lock this in with those tabs, push this up into place. So we've got our hitch plug started into our new bracket. Now this is going to be a tight fit, so you may need to give it a few taps with a dead blow mallet. Now we can install our 10mm bolts and flat washers. Now on the back side of those, we'll install our flange nuts. We'll grab a 10mm socket on our impact and tighten these down. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Red Rock OE style hitch assembly for your 05 to 15 Tacoma with factory hitch. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.